Hey, welcome back to the Worthy Woman podcast. If you are new here, you might not know that I do have a podcast, and I took a little break from it. Was trying to kind of get clear on things, and just wanted some space and time to not feel like I had to be pumping out content all the time. I can easily overdo it, as most people in business can do. But I wanted to bring it back. I don't know what my frequency is going to be like, but I do want to bring the podcast back for, we'll say, season 3, in the sense of there's always been like variations to my podcast. It's evolved over time, and it will continue to evolve. So today we're talking about, though, how a lot of people don't actually need another business strategy. They don't always need another marketing strategy or content strategy. And I want to talk about why and what people really actually need. So if you have a business and you're listening to this, you might kind of relate to the fact that there's a ton of strategies, right? Like, you go on YouTube, you go on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, someone's trying to sell you a strategy, someone's trying to teach you a new strategy, someone has made new fancy words to make it sound like a new strategy. Meanwhile, marketing, actually had my marketing coach had actually mentioned this about how like the marketing isn't different with like who you go to. We're all teaching the same things, but people try to give it their own names, their own frameworks, right? And we get caught up in the hype of marketing because it's really what's promoted a lot, and it is also at the same time, it's flashy, right? Like, it's like, oh, if you do this, then you're going to get this many clients, you're going to make this much money, or even the stories, right, are tied to how much money somebody made. And this is all well and dandy. Marketing is 100% something that's important for you and your business, no matter what stage you're at. However, we get so caught up in like the fancy aspect of like, it sounds magical. It sounds like it's going to be the ticket, the thing that like helps you very quickly make the result or see the result. And the reality is that this isn't always what you actually need. So marketing strategies and content strategies are absolutely important. They are a requirement, a necessity for business. However, what people are oftentimes missing is that they need more of a internal strategy, we'll say, so to speak. A lot of us go through business and entrepreneurship and trying to make more money, and we try to maybe sometimes avoid what we maybe really need to look at, and that is the stuff that is the deeper work within ourselves. And this has been true in my journey. You know, I have always been, I've been on this journey for a long time, and I've always felt like, oh, I got to find the strategy. I got to find the perfect thing to say. I got to find the marketing hack. You know, I got to figure this out. I have to learn this. And as much as marketing absolutely is a skill that a lot of people need to learn, unless it's something that you've, you still would have had to learn it, but some people went to school for this, right? Other people like myself did not. And at times it can feel overwhelming because you're like, well, I don't even know if I'm saying the right things. And is that why people aren't buying? Is that why, I'm not being successful? I'm not making the money that I want to make? And a lot of times it's not so much the strategy in which you're using, as much as that can be important. A lot of times it's just that you are needing to work on things within yourself, like your mind, your mindset, your beliefs, your energy, your nervous system, right? Like how you respond and react to things in business. It's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of marketing coaches out there that'll tell you like, you have to stick to this for 90 days or however long, right, to see the actual results. So if you can't stick to the thing because it's not yielding the results immediately, it's probably telling you it's not the content strategy that's the problem. It's probably more you and where you're at. I was a person who would, the second I was stressed about money, or the second I was like, oh my gosh, I need clients, I would immediately go search the internet, go search apps to try to see, okay, who's got the next strategy, right? Who's the next coach I want to work with? Like, who's, I would hip hop around, but the reality is like, I didn't need that. I needed to look at why I was feeling uncomfortable. I needed to look at my feelings. I need to look at how I was feeling and viewing money and viewing myself and my belief, and how my belief was starting to shake a little bit in myself and what I was doing and my offers. Yes, it's been a journey for myself of figuring out like who I want to talk to, what I want to talk about, and like where I want to take my business. But when I started implementing things like subconscious mind work and nervous system work and shifting my energy and working on the energetic side of myself, that was when my business started to move, right? That was when my coaching business started to take off. That's when I started to make more money without posting more content. Things became so much easier in my life and in my business because I was operating from a different energy. I was operating from a different space and a different belief. And even if I had situations that were very similar financially that would show up before, even if I experienced them again, I didn't react the same way, which was such a huge tell to me that like the work that I had been doing on myself was actually working, where I could feel and sense that I was actually responding differently than I was in the past, right? Like there wasn't as much of the panic, there wasn't as much of the fear and the worry around finances that was coming up like it did in the past. The other thing is that it also gave me the confidence to start actually doing these things, right? So when I started doing this work, I was afraid to step out on my own when it comes to like my clinic, right? And my practice. Right now I own my own practice, and which is kind of crazy to say. And, I plan to have a clinic with other practitioners and stuff like that. But a year ago, didn't think that was like in the cards anytime soon, I shouldn't say that, just over a year ago, because it was a year ago that I did start to transition. And the other part of that is that I was terrified of like the financial. I'm like, well, I don't know who's going to come with me. I don't know if my clients are going to follow me. What if I like go this and now I have like a rent payment and I don't know if I can make it, right? Like all of these factors. And when I started doing this work, it actually gave me the confidence to go out on my own, to take action in ways that I needed to take action to actually move it forward and not let fear get in the way of it. So it's interesting because you still have those doubts, you still have those like fears come up, but you're able to move through them when you do this type of work. And so I feel like a lot of the reason why people don't stick with entrepreneurship and they maybe quit because they've been unsuccessful is because they are needing to actually do the inner work. It wasn't so much about, what they were talking about or the strategy, the content piece. It was a lot of times like what's going on within. And I see so many people get stuck with marketing, or they get stuck with a part of their journey, whether it's a lot of times it's the getting started piece, but even just expanding into more. And I think this is a big reason why people start entrepreneurship and they quit, is because they don't have the foundational pieces that they need within themselves to keep going, to believe in themselves, to make it a reality, right? Like to bring something to life and to put in the energy and the effort that's required, because you do have to put in energy and effort. But are you putting in the right energy, and are you able to stick with it long enough to have it grow some fruit, right? Like the second you put a seed in the ground to grow an apple tree, you're not getting apples right away, right? Like you got to see that through, you got to nurture it, you got to nourish it, and you got to wait, right? And you got to trust that at some point this tree is going to bear fruit and it will be tasty, right? And it'll be what you want. And you got to hope that it's going to be apples, right? Like sometimes you're like, I hope this is actually an apple tree seed, So it's the same with our business. We have to be able to ride that wave of it. And I've been talking about this a lot on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, I highly suggest you do if you're interested in this stuff. Because that's mainly where I'm talking a lot about it, but about this entrepreneurship wave, right? There's highs and there's lows to entrepreneurship. You get a 9 to 5, it's pretty steady. There's elements within it, but it's way more consistent, right? Entrepreneurship is way more kind of all over the place, highs and lows of emotions. One day you're like, fuck yeah, I'm the best business owner there's ever been. And then there's other days where you're like, I just want to quit and burn all this down and just go get a job, So there's like these crazy highs and lows. And then to boot, financially, there's highs and lows, right? Like you've got an influx of income, and then you've got expenses, and then you've got an influx of income. And it's not, again, this steady, consistent, like every 2 weeks you get paid. So we have to work on our inner self in order to be able to ride that wave. We can't ride the wave in the sense of like going through the highs and the lows. That's usually what makes us be impulsive and make kind of wild decisions or quit or, you know, like be really consistent and then really not consistent, right? Content wise, things like that. But if we can learn to kind of like ride the neutral wave in the middle of all of that, right? Ride the chaos, you are less likely to get triggered by things, act from a reaction place, and you're able to just respond from a place that's calm, that's like, okay, you can talk yourself out of things. You can, you know, kind of talk yourself off the ledge, so to speak, when it comes to like quitting your business or pivoting or finding another coach or whatever. And that's what I have found has been the biggest piece, is that when the challenges and the obstacles and the things that I'm facing show up, I'm responding from a different place. I've grown my capacity to handle entrepreneurship as a whole and handle my finances as a whole, even when things aren't necessarily looking great, right? But then what it does is it allows me to react from a place that's more calm, more neutral, and I can take better actions, more aligned actions, because I'm not acting from a place of impulse, right? So by doing this work, that's what helps you stick to the marketing strategy. That's what helps you post the thing that you actually want to post about, because you are, confident in what it is that you have to say. You're not afraid of like maybe what other people might think or rejection and things like that. This is what allows you to believe that what you want to make and the finances and the money that you want to have and the sales that you want to have is possible for you. It's what helps you believe that you can even sell an offer, or that, you know, anyone can make a landing page, but it doesn't mean that people can sell the offer and believe in the offer, right? I can make a landing page for a company that I don't agree with, that I don't maybe believe in, so I wouldn't be able to sell it because I don't believe in what they're selling, right? Sure, I can make a landing page. Sure, you know, I can throw some pictures in there and some words and, you know, make people believe what they want to believe. But if I don't believe in the product, I'm never actually going to be able to sell it, right? You need to be able to believe in what it is that you're doing. There has to be this purpose behind what you're doing. And I think that's the hardest part around when it comes to being a person who's in business, has offers and things like that, that you love what you do, you're purpose-led, you're purpose-driven, and then the financial side like slacks. You're like, what? Why? You know? And then we think it's like, oh, it's got to be my marketing, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. But a lot of times we have these self-worth things that are coming up that are getting in the way of us properly marketing, or just marketing ourselves in general, or certain beliefs around receiving money for the work that we're doing, right? And so again, you can have any marketing strategy that you want, but if you don't have the foundational belief that what you're actually marketing is possible, you're going to always fall flat. It's always going to, your marketing is just going to be kind of hollow, right? So we have to have that inner work that we do on ourselves. And people always say, you know, entrepreneurship is self-development on crack. And it's totally true, but you also have to be, it's like self-development. You can't just like read the book and just think you've healed something, right? You got to implement it. You got to do the work. And I stayed stuck with this for so long because I understood that this was important. I understood that, like, obviously mindset. Yeah, I got to believe in myself. Yeah, I get that. But the tools and the resources that people were giving, or how they were speaking about it, like, weren't very helpful, wasn't very practical. And I still didn't understand fully like what I was doing. I actually just had my workshop. I'm going to have my workshop as I'm recording this. It's an in-person workshop where we talk about, you know, casting the vision, how this all works together, how identifying your blocks, figuring out what's actually blocking you, and then like doing the tools and the resources and giving you those things that you can take home to continue this work, because it doesn't just change overnight. And then also doing a Holy Fire Reiki session in it. And so I actually plan on recording the whole experience. So I'm hoping to offer that for people. So if you're interested in that, comment down below this video and I can hopefully send you the link for that. But I wanted to give people like an immersive experience where it's like, this isn't just like, oh, just journal on what you want and like make a vision board, and like all those things are really great. But how many people, and I know I've been this way, where like I can't visualize the things that I want, or I can visualize the things that I want, but I don't know what's blocking me, right? And so I really wanted to make this comprehensive for people to be able to go through, because for so long in my journey, I was like, I get it, but I can't. Either it wasn't the right tool for me because it's not how I operate, or I couldn't get into it. I couldn't have the physical sensation alongside the logical understanding of the process. And if you don't have the physical sensation, you don't have the energy shift, you don't have the physical shift, it falls flat. It just feels like dumb stuff that you're doing that isn't really having any sort of reaction, right? So in order to do those things, we have to work on all aspects of it, right? The subconscious mind, our nervous system, and our energy as a whole, because they all influence each other. It's not just like, oh, do one thing and then like that will shift it all, right? And sometimes the thing that's blocking us is the thing that we just didn't think that it was gonna be, right? But a lot of us are afraid of going into this inner work. And I think that's why so many people gravitate towards marketing strategies and content strategies and these like quick fixes and these hacks and these viral things, because we think that that's going to be the ticket to success, right? But at the end of the day, what is success if you can't feel it, right? Like if you can't tap into the feeling, if you can't tap into, what you're even trying to do in the first place, right? It won't. It's only going to get you so far, right? Or you end up selling or making a business that isn't really in alignment with you, right? You get down the line so far and you're like, oh, this isn't really what I want it to be, because, you were acting from a place and having success, but from a marketing perspective, but it wasn't actually you building something that felt right. And you maybe weren't building it from the right place in order for it to feel successful down the line, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my biggest thing, is like, I feel like there's so many people who are so incorporated into this like marketing strategies. And like I said, like, I believe in marketing strategy. I'm not saying don't have a marketing coach or anything like that, but you also have to work on this other aspect. And the thing is I find a lot of business owners, they do this work, they know it's important, they've done it themselves, but the way they teach it or the way they talk about it, I just find there's not enough depth there for a lot of people to truly go into it and truly have the shift that they're looking for, right? And the tools and the practices that they use might not work for you. So then what the hell do you do, right? Especially when you don't know what to do or they don't have anything else for you because that's all they've ever learned, right? And all they've ever used, and it works for them. So you have to have an open mind when you come into this work of like, and trying different things to see, what works the best for you. So that's my little 2 cents on marketing. And this deeper work, this internal work, is not for everyone. You have to be willing to really see yourself, and that can be easy or hard depending on what you're trying to do. But there's a lot of growth internally, and it can shift within what feels like a quick amount of time. But you don't always just like do the practice once and then everything's magically fixed, right? Like the big thing with the subconscious mind is, and even nervous system, it's repetition. We have to teach ourselves that it's okay. We have to show ourselves it's safe. We have to show ourselves it's possible, right? And we have to give ourselves enough evidence that like this new reality that we're creating is real, and that we're safe in it, and that it's possible, and all these things. So we need the repetition, and that's where I think people get caught too, is they start doing this, they do it for like a week, and they don't do it anymore, right? And so I really want to help people navigate through this, figure out what they need to do, and also, figure out what works for them, right? What is your path? Because your path and what you do might be very different than me, because what you need and what I need are 2 different things, right? And our journeys are maybe in different spaces. So I am actually opening up my coaching program. We're starting on September 8th, and it is a 12-week coaching program for women in business who want to make more money. It's called Magnetic Money. And this is 12 weeks together. It is a small group. It's my founding price, so it's actually $9.97 Canadian for the 12 weeks. I do have payment plans available as well. But this is really to help you identify like what's blocking you, helping you make more money, in your business by doing this inner work. So that's not marketing strategies. It's not like the content side of things or like the business side of things. I can still help you like navigate how you maybe should be making money or creating that, again, that lifestyle, like what it is, what you want your business to even kind of like look like. But a lot of it is going to be this sitting in the vision of what it is that you want to create and how do we make that vision into a reality through this type of work to open you up to what's possible for yourself. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check the link out down below. It is up and live. I'm only taking a really small group, like probably 6 people. So yeah, depending on what's available and things like that, let me know if you can find a spot or not. And if you're curious on what's going on with it or where it's at, definitely follow me on Instagram. That's where you're going to see a lot of the posts around this topic and around my coaching and stuff too, to just know what's going on. But yeah, it's going to be a great 12 weeks. It's going to be very, as much as it's a group, it's going to be very personalized, which is why I want the group small so that I can kind of keep on track with everyone. But it's really created to help you navigate through this. Like, I wish I had this when I started because, oh my gosh, it would have saved me so much time. And maybe I just wasn't in that space of being ready for it, you know? But I also know that this would have transformed me and I would have started making money doing this kind of stuff like way faster had I had resources like this that were accessible and also had this level of depth to them as well. So that is what I have. If you have any questions, like I said, you can message me on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, you can comment down below on this. And yeah, otherwise, it's pretty much what I got for you guys. So thank you for being here. Expect to see a few more of these. And yeah, I'm happy to be back with the podcast. So thank you for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.